I don't know if I'm just out of the loop or what, but what's been going on lately with all these creators deciding to launch bad or controversial products all at the same time? We just got through talking about the terrible reveal of Lunchly, and today we're going to be talking about Marques Brownlee and his new product. Now, if you somehow don't know who Marques Brownlee is, he's basically the tech review YouTuber ever. If there's really any sort of mainstream or even remotely popular piece of tech that you're looking to purchase and watch a review on, he's most likely going to be the guy that you end up watching and really probably be the deciding factor on whether you decide to purchase that product or not. Or instead of him deciding whether you purchase it or not, you could just be in the other group of people that already bought the product and it's either on its way or they already have it in hand and then they decide to watch a review. Never understood the reasoning behind that, but there's a ton of people that do it. But either way it goes, most of his reviews are usually pretty fair and unbiased, so he's basically never in any sort of drama or controversy whatsoever, which really makes this situation that much more surprising. But with the brief explanation that we probably really didn't need out of the way, we can finally get into what his product actually is. So a few days ago, he released a video reviewing the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro, but in the first about 2 minutes of that video, he's explaining and pretty much promoting his new product, so we're gonna take a look at that.
But you know what I've been doing way longer than 2 weeks? Working on a new app that we are finally launching. You guys have always been asking me where I get my wallpapers. Like, it's frequently the #1 suggested search result under my name, has been for years, so now we've put them all in one place. It's called Panels, and it's finally live in the App Store, both on iOS and on Android. Feels really good to be able to say that. So if you're wondering where the wallpaper on these phones in the review came from, Panels. If you're wondering where the wallpaper in the last video came from, Panels. Matter of fact, almost all of the wallpapers on the devices and in backgrounds you've seen in my videos for the past year have all come from Panels, which is pretty sick. We have a bunch of awesome artists over there that we are splitting profits with 50-50, and there's already a ton of great collections of art and much more incoming. And we have some pretty big plans for this thing. So it's starting off as a wallpaper app now. I don't want to overpromise too much, but it's going to be pretty consistently improving over time.
Now, before I start getting into what everyone's saying about this app and everything wrong with it as of right now, I just want to get it out of the way that I truly don't believe that this app/product is a bad idea. And I've seen a ton of people just coming at his throat acting like he released the worst thing ever, and a lot of people also comparing it to Lunchly when they aren't even close to similar. Not only is Marques not blatantly lying to you about what his app actually is, but it's also not a product that's intended for kids to consume. This app is genuinely just about as simple of a product as you can get. It's a paid premium wallpaper app that's really only going to be meant for a select specific group of people. And really the best part about his app is if you don't think that it's worth it to purchase wallpapers, then you don't have to. And I know that that same exact argument can be made for Lunchly that, oh, if you don't like the idea of Lunchly or if you don't like Lunchly, just don't buy it. But even with that, even if you don't like Lunchly and don't decide to purchase it yourself, that doesn't take away from how potentially harmful it can be, since it's something that, like I said, is marketed towards kids that are gonna be eating it, and it's just completely misleading advertisement. But even though I don't think that this product is a bad idea, we do have to judge it based on what it is right now, and take a look at the criticisms and problems that people have with it. No one's paying $50 a year for a regular wallpaper app. And actually, before I get into some more of the comments, I think I did forget to mention that this app is supposed to be $50 a year, and I think it's also supposed to be based on like a monthly subscription model, so I think that ended up being about $4 a month, which also seems to be people's main issue with this app. And we're also, of course, gonna get into all the other problems with it, but it seems the main one that people really can't get over is paying money for wallpapers, and I definitely understand where they're coming from. It makes absolutely no sense to pay for something that you've been getting for free for the longest. But, like I said earlier as well, if you're someone that doesn't think that paying $50 a year for wallpapers is worth it, you don't have to. This app seems like it's really for a specific group of people that like to customize all of their devices fairly consistently, probably even multiple times a week, and they just don't want to spend that much effort trying to go out of their way to find a free version of whatever high quality image they're looking for. and for someone like that, $4 a month honestly seems kind of reasonable. But that's also if the price is truly $50 a year. I also seen a bunch of comments and different people saying that it's only $50 a year right now because there's some sort of launch discount going on, and the actual real price would be like $150 a year. And if that is the case, then basically my entire opinion on this would change, because that is just straight up way too much for this. But moving on with the comments, things you can get for $50, and then he drops an entire list. LMAO, what is this? 2002? You want to sell us some ringtones too? MKBHD graduated from the Apple School of Pricing. 2 30-second unskippable ads for SD version of a wallpaper is diabolical. And then we got a ton of comments referring to what Marques said himself a while ago: never charge for something that was already free. Now, like you seen there from the comments, like I said, a lot of people's main problem with this was the price of it, but probably the other biggest problem is the amount of ads on it. And having ads on a free product definitely does make sense, because this app does have a free version, but the amount of ads that you get on this app for what you actually get in return isn't even close to reasonable. Like this guy in the comments just said, you have to sit through 2 unskippable 30-second ads for a standard definition version of a wallpaper. What's even the point of that? If you really wanted the standard definition of an image, you wouldn't be downloading an app and watching ads to get it. You just go download the image from Google and set it as your wallpaper. But with basically any controversy on the internet ever, usually the person at the receiving end of it typically comes out with some sort of response, and Marques has done just that. Starting with his pinned comment on his video: for clarity, Panels is free. We added an ad-free tier for those who want it. No pressure, obviously, if you didn't. Now, the main reason that I wanted to talk about the comment on his video first is I kinda think it's a bit misleading. Panels is free, and I did download it myself as well, since it's free and I'm making a video, may as well try it out. But it's free to an extent. Like I said, you can only get the standard definition version of the images for free with, of course, ads. Now, if you want to get rid of the ads, you'd obviously have to pay for that, but you also have to pay for the high quality version of the images, which to me is really the whole point of the app. So at least for me, I wouldn't really quite say the app is free as much as there's a free trial to the app. But before we get into his responses on Twitter, I just wanted to give him huge credit for actually going about taking criticism and responding to it the right way. Because I truly don't think that there's anything wrong with releasing your product and it not being in the best state possible at first, as long as you're not trying to act like it is. Because it really seems like at this point in the internet, creators just don't know how to take criticism at all. So I really just wanted to give them credit for actually acknowledging and responding to people's valid criticisms, rather than just chalking it up as, oh, the only reason that they could ever have a problem with this is because they hate me. But he released his response on Twitter, and it says, part of building in public is getting mass feedback immediately, which is pretty dope. Almost exactly like publishing a YouTube video. First thing we're doing is fixing the excessive data disclosures, as people rightfully brought up. For transparency, we never actually ask for your location, internet history, etc. The data disclosures that everyone is screenshotting is likely too broad and largely driven by what the ad network suggests. Working to fix that ASAP. Now that part right there, I also forgot to bring up that one of people's other main problems with this is it just started asking them for a bunch of information that a wallpaper app would really have no reason asking for, like your location, browsing history, and a bunch of other stuff that it makes absolutely no sense why a wallpaper app would need it, other than to just get your data and, of course, sell it. As for pricing, I hear you. It's our own personal challenge to work to deliver that kind of value for the premium version. Weekly Friday drops are already starting. I'll also be dialing back ad frequency for the free experience. Much more to come. I appreciate you all. Now, he also responded to a lot of people's comments on this post, and we're not going to be going through them all, but I just wanted to point out this one right here that says, bro, your innovation that you brought to the market was a wallpaper app, a wallpaper app, a wallpaper app, and a wallpaper app. And his response was, dog, the target market for this is insanely small. Most people don't download a wallpaper app. This is for those who have been asking. If you're not into it, don't worry about it. And that really just sums it up the best. This app is made for a very specific group of people, and if it's something something you're not into, just don't worry about it. It's that simple. And before we wrap this video up, one last potential problem with this app that I forgot to mention earlier that I really don't see anyone else talking about is the use of AI on this app. And Marques did say that the artists on this app will be receiving a 50-50 split of whatever profits they make, and I'm just wondering what's stopping these different artists from just creating all these different wallpapers with AI? Because even if that's not a big problem for him, I know there's a lot of people that don't necessarily like the idea of paying for an app that they think they're getting wallpapers from an actual artist, but instead they're just creating these wallpapers using AI. That's also not even to mention that a lot of wallpapers on this app are literally just colors, which I mean, I guess if you're using the free version of the app, whatever, sure, why wouldn't there be colors? But it's just weird to see on a paid app one of the wallpapers just straight up being orange. Like what is the premium version of orange get me that the normal one doesn't? But with that being said, that pretty much wraps the video up, and like Marques said himself, you shouldn't judge something based on what it'll be in a few months, but instead judge it based on what it is right now. And as of right now, even though it does look like he's definitely trying, it still looks like he has a ton of work left to do. And if you made it this far in the video, you probably liked something, so you may as well drop a like and maybe even subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the year is over, so every sub counts. But I'm not gonna hold y'all for too long, so I'll catch you guys in the next one.